Texas League Baseball is next. And welcome in to North Texas Baseball here in Frisco, Texas. We now take you to the star of the show, Jonathan Baker. Take it away, John. What's the matter, Bob? You got a frog in your throat? Very funny, John. Ha 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 ha. Well, welcome in one and all to this live Sunday evening broadcast. Well, tonight, the final matchup of the year of the two ball clubs between the first half South Division champions, the San Antonio Missions, and your Frisco RoughRiders. We gotta say, after this game tonight, Frisco will head on the road as they go to Wichita, as they will start up a Tuesday through Sunday next week campaign there at the Porch. And so far, going to be pretty good. Missions hit the road. They go back to San Antonio to take on the visiting Corpus Christi Hooks in a 6-game set. Myself and Bob, after tonight here in Frisco, are packing up our bags and we're headed back home after a week. Yeah, I gotta say, pretty good, as we've been up to AA Frisco, and I would love to go to somewhere else in the AA Texas League, and so far, Wichita and Springfield would be pretty good up in the North Division. Myself and John, we would literally have to pack up for at least a week and maybe 2 weeks. It'd take you down and have a pretty good time up there in Wichita or whatever. Well, maybe some other time, Bob. I mean, we still have our home games and away games and this and that we deal with weekly. Well, gotta say, John, I mean, if you're up for it, good. If you're not, then we'll just stay in San Antonio and we can watch the games on the big TV screen there at our ballpark. I mean, I gotta say, that would be pretty fun, or we have some outdoor activities going. But anyway, we're going to talk about last night's ball game, a Frisco win, plus a fireworks show for a Saturday night. And gotta say, Bob, what was your reaction to the RoughRiders winning the 5th of the 6 games? Gotta say, John, as they pick up their 40th win of the season, it is crucial that they continue strong. And this game, they could see win number 41, or San Antonio could get their 53rd of the season. And I got to say, pretty much between the two ball clubs of tonight, that San Antonio and Frisco, this game is pivotal to these two ball clubs as they will face each other one last time here in this season. So Frisco does not come back to San Antonio, and San Antonio does not go back to Frisco after tonight. The only ball clubs that San Antonio will have left is Midland, Amarillo, Corpus Christi, and Springfield. And so far we do go to Wichita and Springfield and Arkansas, but we will not go to Amarillo or anywhere else in the Texas League. I mean, that's pretty much it, as we'll have the Missions taking on the ball clubs as getting through the rest of the remainder of this season, continuing onward. Now, when San Antonio returns home, they will take on the visiting Corpus Christi Hooks. And after that, it's 12 to 13 days on the road. First stop will be 6 at Arkansas, the next 6 at Springfield. Coming home and taking on Amarillo for a 6 games, Midland for a 6 games, then getting on the road and heading off for Wichita and Midland for 12, and then getting into the season finale, San Antonio taking on the Springfield Cardinals to wrap up the 2023 year. But wait, that's not all. As everybody knows, the Missions are in the 2023 Texas League South Division playoffs beginning Thursday, September 21st at 7:05, and that is to be determined on which team we will play during the evening on that night. And so far as we look at it, San Antonio, Amarillo, Arkansas, and Tulsa will be the final 4 that will be standing in 2023. They will be the finalists. Corpus Christi, Midland, Frisco, Springfield, Northwest Arkansas, and Wichita will all face elimination, and that is determined if the second place position will go towards anybody. Amarillo and Tulsa, they are the ones in second place, and whoever gets into the second place position, and gotta say Corpus Christi is 4.5 games trailing the Sod Poodles, and Springfield is about 5.5 games away from catching Tulsa, and they need 6 to take the second place position in the North, and Corpus Christi needs at least 5 to claim the second place in the South, and they'll trail San Antonio by a handful in that one. But anyway, this time is crucial, and I got to say these games are very crucial to all of us in the Texas League. And so far, we all know, Bob, that this is a big moment in Texas League history as we're getting close to the month of August. And we've had a pretty good season thus far. I mean, since opening night, when San Antonio and Tulsa pretty much got a 3-game series going there at DCJ Field. And so far, the Arkansas Travelers, they've been unstoppable. They went to 3 games at Corpus Christi. They beat Corpus Christi out of the 3 games. And boy, I got to say, they whooped the daylights out of them. I got to say, you're not wrong about that, John. But the Corpus Christi Hooks, they did 0-3 to start off the year. And you look at them, they came back strong, and they never let their guard down. And got to say, that is one thing that you don't want to do when falling down in the Texas League, is when you go down, you know, you're 0-11 of the year. That's a weak start, but when you start winning ball games, that's one thing that you can do to be a successful team as coming into this one. Yes, I gotta say, it is pretty much one of them things. Well, gotta say, tonight, as we have our final and last game here at Frisco tonight, we do have our special Bark in the Park week presented by Petco and PetSmart and all these other pet retailers that we give our proud sponsor Frisco. And it's home to the Frisco RoughRiders, that all of us, we do love our pets and our animals and so on. And we will stand up to animal abuse. For each home run hit tonight, the Frisco RoughRiders will donate $50 to any pet organization to get pets in need off the streets and into a loving and most caring home as soon as possible. Also tonight in our live broadcast here, we do have Bob's lovely wife. She's all the way from San Antonio as well.
And good evening and welcome in once again.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. And gotta say, love your animals and care about them because they are your family. And that's one thing that you always got to do is love your animals. Don't mistreat them because they are your family and they hurt as much as we do. We're letting them down, folks. Don't do anything that hurts the animals. They are our family. And that is what Bark in the Park stands for, is we bring our furry, four-legged friends to the ball game. And that's what me and Bob and John, we all do it. And that's one thing that all of us will continue every Sunday game. That's right, Ann, and thank you so much for bringing that up. And every Sunday this season, going from right now to the end of September, we will always have Bark in the Park Sundays. So wherever we may be in the Texas League, we're always going to have Bark in the Park. Bring your four-legged furry friends to the ball game. And so far, those that do will receive a free ticket or anything to a future game here in Texas League Baseball. But anyway, pretty good as we have this proud and wonderful broadcast here from Frisco, Texas and Statesman's Park. Got to say, a beautiful evening on hand for us as we're about ready to get started with the final game of this 6-game set between the Frisco RoughRiders and the first half South Division champions, the San Antonio Missions, here tonight. Well, we want to thank you guys for our proud and live pregame show broadcast. This one is provided by Dr. Pepper, home of Frisco, and so far they are pretty much a winning factor of baseball, as Statesman's Park used to be called Riders Field, but now since it's Statesman's Park, it's pretty good as we get through that one. Well, this has been our Dr. Pepper pregame show. Also, our proud sponsors for Frisco RoughRiders baseball is Petco, PetSmart, and Pet Organizations. And so far, it is Bark in the Park Sunday. So bring your four-legged friends out to the ball game and receive a ticket to a future game when we come back home. And so far, we are good to go. Well, all three of us are going to be here in the booth, and so far we are ready for nighttime baseball here on the show. So, gorgeous evening on hand, a few clouds from time to time, and so far time now to get things started for our final meetup of the year, San Antonio at Frisco, coming up right after this. Well, for Game 6, Tim Brennan will take the heel as he is 6'4" and 212 pounds and age 26. We'll get the ball for the RoughRiders to start up the ball game. Well, leading off for San Antonio, center fielder Tim Lopes. Coming in as we are about ready to go. Here's the first pitch by Brandon, and we are underway right here at 7:30. Boy, we are just 30 minutes late from getting in, but also we got done with our pregame show for RoughRiders baseball. Right there, line drive to left field as the shortstop tries to interfere and get in the way to stop the play, and that is a base hit. Shortstop Evan Mendoza will come in. And here's the pitch. That one right there at the knees, and it's called for a strike.
And that's the count now, 0-1. Go ahead, give your ball club. San Antonio at Frisco, Wichita at Amarillo, Arkansas at Springfield, Midland at Corpus Christi, and Tulsa at Northwest Arkansas. After tonight's ball game, Frisco heads north to Wichita, Kansas. A 6-game set next week against the Wichita Wind Surge beginning Tuesday night at 7:05. And pretty good right there. Myself, Bob, Ann, and Jeff Andrews will all head home back to San Antonio after tonight. And we will get ready to do a Tuesday through Sunday matinee as the Missions take on the Corpus Christi Hooks there at our new ballpark there in San Antonio, Texas. 1-2. That one high fly in the air up in right field. And the right fielder shy of the warning track will make the running grab. And he's got it for out number 1. Well, the chance now, let's give the visiting starting lineups. And so far, winner take all in the final meetup of the 6 games. Gotta say, Bob, everything is on the line for the 2, as this will be the last one of the year for both sides.
Well, yeah, I gotta say, it is a sad night that we say goodbye to Frisco until next year in 2024. But we've had a pretty good time being here in Frisco. We had a vacation, and so far, it's pretty good that we got to get away from San Antonio for a while.
Hey, you know, San Antonio is our home.
Yeah, I gotta say, John, it really is.
That one right there, outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at first. 1 away, top of 1 for the San Antonio Missions. That one hit right there. And they will underhand right there. And that will be the force out at second base. And there's 2 away. You know, Juan Fernandez coming in as he gets ready to go. Still a runner there as second. That is Tirso Ornales, the right fielder. Juan Fernandez, the first baseman, coming in as he takes a ball high and outside. And it's a count now, 1-0. The pitch. That one again trying to make him chase. And it's the count now, 2-0. A lot of dogs out here this evening. A lot of few German Shepherds in St. Bernards. But also would love to give a special shout out to a Facebook friend of mine. Her name is Hannah Irishman. She is pretty much a true pet breeder. And if you're looking for a puppy, make sure you get with her. And you can put down a amount that she requires, and she will reserve a puppy in your name, and that puppy will get a pretty good home. That's right there, and right to second, as that will do for this half inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left for San Antonio. We now head for the bottom of the first, and it is no score through the top half. Well, Matt Waldron will step in for Game 6. The 6'3", 185 pounds, and age 26 will get the ball for the away side as Waldron called upon to pitch for the Missions here in this contest. Well, Luis Angel Acuna will step in here in the bottom of the Frisco first, as we are about ready to go here in this half inning. The pitch. And that's going to be line drive to right, and a first quick pitch right there will get the RoughRiders going, as that's a no-out single. So Acuna will reach on the first base safely on the base hit. But an exit velocity of 92.2 miles an hour on that fastball. And it's pretty good. Right there, swing and a miss, and that's the count now, 0-1. J.P. Martinez coming in, and so far pretty good for his side, as he's got a .351 average over a 500 opposition. And he's had 3 home runs and 7 RBIs of the year for Frisco. The pitch. And right there, glove by Lucas Dunn. And what a play at third. And boy, he had cat-like reflexes on that fastball.
Yeah, he sure did, John. But before we talk about that, we need to give the home team starting lineups. Last meetup of the year for these two ball clubs. What to say, it's pretty good that we get one more night in Frisco before our return to San Antonio.
That's right, Bob. We start Tuesday against Corpus Christi, and RoughRiders are on the road facing off Wichita. Gotta say, pretty good right there, as that will be a road trip, but we do not go to Wichita. I mean, the RoughRiders would get to go, but San Antonio will have their chance of getting up to going to Wichita at the end month of August. That'll bring off Blaine Krim. Runners at first and third. First baseman for the RoughRiders. And the pitch. Right there and inside for a cold strike, and it's 0-1. Krim averages at the 400 average. On the opposition, 600. He's had 8 home runs and 16 RBIs of the year for Frisco. That one's high fly in the air. Tirso Ornelas there in right field. Running after it will make it go off and foul. And he can't catch up with it. The 0-2. And that one high fly near the backstop even. And that's the count now, still holding on at no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2. And that one high in the air. Fernandez in foul territory. Makes the grab. And he's got for 2 away. The designated hitter is Kellen Strom, as he comes in at a 718 over 1,000. Pretty good thus far for the RoughRiders. And he takes well and inside for a cold strike. And it's the count now, 0-1. Do a little trivia as we have our first break in the top half of the second for San Antonio. Pretty good. We talk about Airbud 7th inning fetch coming up right in this ball game. Right there, line drive, and that's going to get through for a base hit. And Frisco up by 1-0 against the Missions. And so far, that's going to be a RBI double for the RoughRiders here tonight. Sandro Fabian, the designated hitter, coming up. In the pitch. That one's going to be fouled in the way. The count now 0-1. Frisco winning 4-5 games of the 6. And tonight could be their lucky night if they could push for a third victory before a road trip to Wichita. And that's going to be line drive, and that's going to get up through for a base hit. And 3 runs in to score on the RBI single. And gotta say 2 on that one. That's pretty good as the RoughRiders now up 3-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning for Frisco. Here is the number 7 batter, second baseman Thomas Sajasi. And that's taken in right there. And that's the count now, 0-1. Airbud 7th inning stretch. Pretty good, as that movie was filmed for a lot of dog lovers. Golden Retriever Buddy. He was a real dog.
Yeah, I gotta say, he really was. How can a Golden Retriever be on first base and catch a baseball in his mouth and without a glove?
Well, how do you think that would even be possible, Bob? I mean, you look at it. A dog can't just hold the glove in its mouth because he's going to get slobber all over it. I mean, yeah, I will say. That's right there up to Tirso Ornalis, and that will do for this half inning. Boy, 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for Frisco. As we now head for the top of the second, and it's a 3-0 RoughRiders lead over San Antonio. Third baseman Lucas Dunn, batting in the 5 spot, will lead off the top of the second for the San Antonio Missions. And that one right there in the end on the change, and that's the count now, 0-1. So, Ann, I gotta say, have you ever seen Air Bud?
Oh, yes, I love Air Bud. That's like one of my favorite movies.
Your favorite movie was Air Bud and Beethoven?
Yes.
Boy, you and I have something in common.
Oh?
And that's a strikeout. So 1 away for Tim Brennan as he gets that one. And that's the first out away in inning number 2. So pretty nice. As that one high and outside, 1 ball, no strike. So, Ann, how do we have something in common? I mean, do we like the same movies, or what is it?
Well, I think you just said it.
Yeah, John, she just said that the movies is pretty good.
And that one up right there to right field, and that's going to get through for a base hit. And that's going to be a 1-out double for the Missions.
Boy, and that guy right there, he hits a pretty good fastball.
Oh, pretty good. Gotta say, we do have a German Shepherd and St. Bernard in here. And they've been brothers. Have they been adopted at the same time during the time?
Well, I gotta say, John, yes, they have been. And I will say they've been really good friends. They will play with each other a little bit roughly, but me and Ann have to get after them to make them behave themselves.
Well, have you ever thought about the dog courses at Petco and PetSmart?
Well, to tell you one thing, John, I don't know how much they would charge to train a pet, but I think that would be pretty good and reasonable if they're lower price.
Well, I would say they would be a good thing if you do get them trained up. And it'd be pretty good for you and Bob to go in and see what y'all could do. That's going to be line drive to left, and that's going to get through for a base hit. Runner from second in to home. And that's going to be an RBI double right there, as San Antonio will put their first run on the board here in the top of the second inning for the Missions. Number 9 batter, catcher Michael Cantu coming in. And that's going to be high fly right there. And that will also get down for a base hit. Boy, and San Antonio, they're first and third. Boy, and that was a pretty good fastball that was hit right there, right time. And pretty good. High fly outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Center fielder Tim Lopes, he singled back in the first as 1 for 1 of the night for San Antonio. Gotta say, that right there, pretty fantastic. And that's gonna be high fly in the air. In right center is the center fielder as he makes the running grab, and he's got it for the last out. Well, Albert Fabian will get this run on 3 base hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Well, actually, we do have at least 2, but we go to the bottom of inning number 2. And it's 3-1 Frisco. The 8-hole batter, Caber Rodriguez, the cleanup man, coming in for the RoughRiders. As he hits one high fly in the air, Jackson Merrill will make the play just shy of second base. And that's for the out. That'll bring up the number 9 batter, catcher Matt Watley. Watley coming in, ready to go. The pitch. And that one is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. We gotta say, a lot of dogs out there, well behaved. Couple near the concourse even. Right there, third baseman done. But the catcher will come in. Or this. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit confused, Bob. Help me out.
It's the pitcher that comes in and intervenes to the third baseman making the catch.
Yeah, there you go. What he said. Luis Angel Acuna comes in. It's 1 for 1. 2 away, nobody on here in the bottom of Frisco's home half of 2. 3-1 our score as they lead San Antonio just 2 runs. And pretty good right there. The 0-1. Right there, swing and a miss, and that's the count now, 0-2. Acuna was 1 for 1 as he singled during the last time up. During the first inning. That's high fly in the air. Catcher Cantu makes the play just shy of home. And that will do. So no runs, no hits, no errors for Frisco. As we now head for the top of the third. The RoughRiders up by 2. Well, leading off for San Antonio, top of 3. Shortstop Evan Mendoza coming in and ready to go. And here's the pitch. That one right there and inside for a code strike. And it's 0-1. And that's going to be high fly in the air. Right there, second baseman will get in and make the play. And that's for the quick out number 1. Right fielder Tirso Ornelas coming in 0 for 1, a ground out in the first inning. The pitch. And that's going to be high in the air and up to right field as the right fielder will make the running grab, out number 2.
Boy, I gotta say, John, those first 2 quick outs have been all for high flies.
Yeah, you're not kidding. What do you say about that, Ann?
I totally agree with my husband.
Well, right there in the end for a code strike. And it's the count now, 0-1. And that right there is right there to right. And that will get through for a base hit. So, Bob, Ann, did you speak with your kids on what they like?
Well, they don't like baseball too much. They would go to a few games a year, but really they like to just go out and have a good time with their families.
Well, the number 5 batter, Lucas Dunn, struck out last time up in the second. Is 0 for 1. But there's a lot of people that question, how can you not like baseball? And to tell you one thing, baseball has been my favorite since my Uncle Robert died in 2017. And, well, for me, being born in Midland, Texas, and we'll talk about it when we get back from our break, as that will do. No runs on a hit, no errors for San Antonio. As we now head for the bottom of the third, as JP Martinez will lead it off. When we come back, we'll talk about my uncle and me and my family from Midland, Texas. Back after this on the show.
Back in 3, 2, 1.
Well, we welcome you back as we go to the bottom of inning number 3 as JP Martinez will get things started. Well, first pitch by Matt Waldron, and here we go in this half inning. High fly in the air, and that will get up to left field right in front of Albert Fabian, as that will be a leadoff single for the RoughRiders. No, Trevor Halver coming in, and he gets one right there and inside for a code strike, and it is 0-1. Wichita, top of the 7th inning there at Amarillo. Beautiful place. Water Ridge Field in downtown Sod Poodles.
You mean Amarillo?
Yes. 6-3 is the score as Wichita leads the 3 against the Sod Poodles. And boy, they are having a pretty good game there in Amarillo. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. And that one is high fly in the air. Albert Fabian will be in left field to make the grab. And he's got it for out number 1.
Now batting, first baseman,
Blaine Cram coming in, 0 for 1, a pop out in the first inning. Stepping up for the RoughRiders. So far, we'll give you more Texas League scores in just a moment. And that one hit to Jackson Merrill, and that's caught for out number 2. Pretty good right there.
now the designated hitter.
The DH is Kellen Strom, single RBI and a run. Is 1 for 1 of the evening. But evidently we will see what's going on in the Texas League. 3-1 San Antonio in the final game of the meetup of the year between the two ball clubs. And that's taken right there and inside for a code strike. It's 0-1. So far, that knuckleball is 60 miles an hour from Matt Waldron. Already thrown 28 pitches. And so far, confidence level is high. And that one is inside for a code strike. It's 0-2. Well, for Corpus Christi, they win their 45th against Midland. And so far, the Rockhounds about ready to head home to take on the Sod Poodles on Tuesday, the 0-2. And that one is high fly in the air, and that will go out of play and foul. So we got Midland versus off Amarillo, San Antonio, and Corpus Christi. Frisco at Wichita. And boy, what a great Tuesday that'd be, as a lot of Texas League ball clubs will be playing. Out there to second base is Jackson Merrill. And that will do for this half inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, a man left. We go to the top of the 4th. Still lead a Frisco 3-1 lead. Well, John Scampy and Chris Singleton will pick it up again as we get ready for the month of August. They're in good old Arkansas. First time San Antonio in 3 years will head to Arkansas and Springfield. Arkansas, a beautiful stadium called All-American, home of the Arkansas Travelers. Here's a 1-1, and that's going to be popped to third. Can he run it down? He has to hurry. No, he will not. As that will be for a quick out, number 1. The DH, Grant Little, is retired for the first out. Number 7 batters, second baseman Jackson Merrill coming in for the Missions. And that's going to be right there in the end for a code strike, and it's 0-1. Corpus Christi is 45-45, beating Midland. So the Rockhounds having their 48th loss of the year, as they were pretty much a good game there at Bayfront Park. Final score, Corpus Christi 9, Midland Rockhounds 4. Well, with 2 away, the left fielder and cleanup hitter, Albert Fabian, coming in for San Antonio. He takes one high and outside for ball 1, 1-0. Well, bottom of the 8th inning there is Springfield. Arkansas trails the Cardinals 8-6, so a 2-run difference. Pretty good right there, as that game is too close to call. Bottom of the 8th. There at Shore of Blue River Stadium. So Northwest Arkansas getting a pretty good, decent win against Tulsa. Final score there at Riverboat Field, it's the final 9-8. That one is right there, and over the wall, a ground rule double by Albert Fabian. And boy, that awards him the second base area. And that's going to bring in the 9 batter Michael Cantu. He's 1 for 1. And that's going to be high fly in the air. Second baseman will make the run and grab. And he's got it. No runs on a hit, no errors. A man on second left stranded. As we now head for the bottom of the 4th. It's 3-1 Frisco. Well, bottom of 4, and Sandro Fabian coming in as he singled 2 RBIs and is 1 for 1 of the night. The pitch. And that one's going to be right there, and that's going to get through for a base hit. And Ornelas gets it back in quickly to avoid a RBI single possibility going into a double. So a double with nobody out, and boy, that would get the RoughRiders bullpen up in arms. And boy, they pretty much won 4 and 5 of the 6 games against San Antonio. The 0-1. High fly in the air. And that is going to be out of play with a count now 0-2. So pretty good for Northwest Arkansas, winning against Tulsa, final 9-8 there at Riverboat Field. So pretty good. And that's right there. Jackson Merrill Mendoza. Boy, they get him. And that's a double play, a 4-6-3. Boy, they're going to Shanghai them like no tomorrow. They're going to grab them by their legs and hang them upside down to dry. Probably you have money coming out of your pockets. I'm just kidding, y'all. 8-hole Caber Rodriguez coming in. And that's a swing and a miss. And that's the count now 0-1. Bottom of 4, 3-1 Frisco. Lead 2 against San Antonio here in this game. Boy, what a good night it is for all of us. Few clouds from time to time, but evidently that will change, as we'll have mostly clear skies through the rest of the evening. here in beautiful Frisco, Texas. And boy, howdy, I thought that one was going to hit him in the head, but that will be the last out. And that will do for this fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go top of 5. The RoughRiders up by 3-1. Center fielder Tim Lopes will lead us off top of 5. As that is taken right there and inside for a cold strike. It's 0-1. So far we go to the top of the 7th there at Water Ridge Field in downtown Amarillo, as Wichita going pretty good, as they are 10-3 against Amarillo. But the game there too early to call. And that went down and in for a full count now. 3 balls to 2 strikes. Here's the 3-2. And that one is chopped foul. A great contact right there. Still hanging on, one more chance at 3 balls to 2 strikes. And that's going to be right there. And that again will go foul. 10-3 Wichita there at Water Ridge Field in downtown Amarillo. And that's going to be right there to a shortstop. And they'll get him easily as he makes the diving grab. Pretty good play, as we'll see that again from the shortstop from the RoughRiders. And boy, he got him just in time as he tried to get there first, making the beautiful infield single, as they always do for every prospect. And so far, pretty good. Evan Mendoza coming in, the shortstop for the Missions. So far, this game is halfway through this evening. And that one is high in the air, second baseman coming in. And that's a quick out, number 2. Well, right fielder Tirso Ornales coming in. Line out, ground out is 0 for 2. So far, so good here in this game. And back to the mound. Flip it right to first. Easy play, as that will do. 3 up, 3 down. A consecutive inning here in the top of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors for San Antonio. As we go inning number 5 straight to home. It is 3-1 Frisco. The catcher, Matt Watley, 0 for 1. Last time up, popped out in the second inning. As we are now into the bottom of inning number 5 for the home team. Right there and inside for a cold strike, and that's 0-1. Last meetup of the year between the two ball clubs. And gotta say, it is a pretty good time. So for the RoughRiders, we will pull up their schedule. And that is in for a cold strike up top. And that's a groan from the fans. And Watley shaking his head at home plate umpire Ty Kraus. He's like, oh my goodness, why would you call that for a strike? That was up top. Well, gee, dude, I'm not the boss of calling the ball and strikes. Only umpires do that. Yeah, you got a valid point, John. I mean, if a prospect argues a ball or strike or whatever, then you're in serious trouble of maybe even ejection or a fine. I mean, you can't be doing some things like that. Yeah, I totally agree, Bob. Well, for the RoughRiders, and I will say that this is our pretty much the last game and last meetup between the two ball clubs. San Antonio and Frisco, after tonight, will no longer see each other for the remainder of the year. Frisco does not go to San Antonio, and San Antonio does not go to Frisco. Pretty sad as we pretty much say goodbye for the year, or we might meet up at some given point. If Frisco could take the second place position against Amarillo, that would be pretty phenomenal to see them second time in the year get in, and as they did last year, being Texas League champions in 2022. Boy, Wichita and San Antonio, they both were eliminated, and that brought us to seeing the Frisco RoughRiders being the Texas League champions of last year in 2022.
Gotta say, that was a pretty good broadcast. We were there up in Wichita, there at the porch, and it was a pretty good ball game. We enjoyed it. The RoughRiders won, and it was a pretty good ball game, as you and I know that we were both there that evening. And yeah, we went from all the way to Wichita, Kansas from San Antonio. And gotta say, that was a long road trip for you and me.
Yeah, I won't ever forget that. But we will take another road trip at some given point. I mean, we just have to wait and find out and see what happens. We might take another road trip, and our stop will head to Midland, because that will be the last road game. San Antonio in the month of August, heading to Midland after the 6 against Wichita. And after we get back from Midland, 6-game season finale between Springfield and San Antonio. High fly in the air right there as Tirso Ornelas will run and hit the wall, and that will do for this half inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go top of the 6th for San Antonio, and it's 3-1 Frisco. Boy, I gotta say, as Wichita continues their grind, it is 11-3 as the wind surge in Game 6 would say that probably that game is already called for Wichita. But evidently they are the bottom of the 7th inning singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." So pretty good right there. That one is lined to short to first, and that's a quick out, number 1. So for Frisco, as we play our last game here against San Antonio, and before you, me, Ann, and Jeff Andrews head back to San Antonio, we're pretty much saying goodbye to Frisco for the year.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the Frisco RoughRiders, beginning on Tuesday, August 1st, 6-game set versus Midland. That will go from August 1st to the 6th. Tuesday, August 15th will be the Tulsa Drillers taking on the Frisco RoughRiders, beginning the 15th of August through the 20th. Corpus Christi on the 29th of August for a 6-game set, and then Northwest Arkansas. So Midland and Corpus Christi, Tulsa and Northwest Arkansas will be the final 4 opponents that will come to Frisco. So that's a line drive, and that's going to get through for a base hit. And pretty good right there, as that is pretty good. Well, a leadoff single with 1 away. That'll bring up the DH, Grant Little. Little coming in. Right there and in for a ball, and the count now 1-0. Well, for San Antonio, We'll have Corpus Christi, Midland, Amarillo, and Springfield. And that will be our final 4 opponents that the Missions will take on for the rest of this year. Right there and then for a code strike, and the count now 2-1. Gotta say, we've had a pretty good season thus far, and so far many more ball games to go after this. Tonight, this could be our 99th ball game. But evidently, I will say, it is pretty good. We have a good time on these ball games. And that would be the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. On deck is Jackson Merrill. And Brandon at 72 pitches. And right there for ball 4, he loses them. And that'll put tying run at first base. And hold your horses. Here comes the manager as he calls the shot to go up to the mound now and relieve Brandon out of this ball game. Well, Brandon, he holds the 2-run lead. And so far, the time is now that the bullpen needs to intervene to protect his W. Cody Bradford, 6'4", 197 pounds, will take the ball. From the manager, he does say, you got your chance here to keep this inning going and keep the score right where it is. Jackson Merrill coming in as he's ready to go. The tying run at first. Go ahead right now at the plate, and that's going to be high fly in the air, and that will hit the tarp. And the count now 0-1. 11-3 Wichita leading the Amarillo Sod Poodles by 8 runs. And boy, I gotta say, they are doing it good there for Wichita. Evidently, the Sod Poodles will pick up a run, and now 11-4. Right there and in for a code strike, and that's the count now 1-2. Top of 6 with the tying run at first. The pitch. And that's going to be high fly in the air, and that will load up bases. And they will put a stop on everything as the Missions will pretty much get the bags loaded up. A grand slam will put them up 5-3. And that everything is on left fielder Albert Fabian. That one high and outside for ball 1, 1-0 the count. 2 for 2, 2 doubles, RBI by Fabian tonight for the Missions. I say pretty good right there. The pitch. That one again outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Boy, he better quit missing. He's got 2 balls, no strikes. 2 more would put a force-in run for the Missions. Yeah, you're not kidding, Bob. And right there, ball 3. 3-0 the count. Cantu on deck now. 1 more, and it's a walk. And that is right there, 3-1. 2 runs in to score for the Sod Poodles there. It's 11-5. And right there, ball 4, and he loses him. And that will force in a run. Well, the bags are still loaded up, and so far now, tying run still sits at third base. Boy, San Antonio have the win-win opportunity here, guys. Yeah, they sure do. Right there and in for a code strike, and it's 0-1. Boy, need a grand slam in this one. The pitch. And that one is high fly in the air. And that one with right there up and left will make the run come in. And here he comes in to score from third. And boy, I thought that's going to be a grand slammer. Well, I stand corrected big time on that one. Well, we're tied with 3-3. The go-ahead now at third. And that would bring in center fielder Tim Lopes. First and third, 2 away, 3-3 tie, top of 6. And that's under his legs. And in to score from third for San Antonio, as it is now a 4-3 contest. Missions have the upper hand now as they take the lead here in the top of inning number 6. Boy, pretty good for the Missions as they now have another pair. And that one down and in for the ball, and the count now 1-0. Shortstop Evan Mendoza popped out in the 5th, 0 for 3 of the night. Pretty good right there. The pitch. That one again outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Boy, 2 more balls and it will be a bases reload. Or even a base hit. Yeah, you're probably right about that. High fly in the air, up in center, and the center fielder makes the play for the out. Well, gotta say, 3 runs on a couple of base hits, no errors, and 2 left. We now head for the bottom of the 6th. San Antonio up 4-3.
Leading off for the RoughRiders, the left fielder.
Left fielder is Trevor Halver as he comes in. Ready to go here. Waldron back to work, high and outside for ball 1, 1-0. Wichita leading 11-5 against Amarillo as they entered the top of the 8th inning for Wichita. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch. And that one is high fly in the air. And third baseman Dunn tries to get it, but he evidently drops it. 1-1. High fly in the air. Dunn tells the shortstop to stop right where he is. And he's got it for out number 1. Blaine Krim is 0 for 2, pop out in a line out. Gonna say a pretty good night here for Frisco. It's always good to come out to the ball game and have a pretty good time. That one right there in the end for a code strike. It's 0-1 to the first baseman. The pitch. And that one high in the air. Up in the center. Center fielder will make the play. And that's out number 2. So, John, you were going to tell us, we stopped at the first break, but you were going to tell us about your uncle and you and your family from Midland. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did forget about that, didn't I? So, my Uncle Robert, and that's his name, by the way, he was a season ticket holder for the Rockhounds. And he had season tickets to all the Rockhound games. In 2017, he was pretty much going to the doctor, and he had, I don't know what he had, but he had a form of illness. And he went to the doctors, and the doctors prescribed him a lot of medications. And so far, we'll be back to talk about the medications when we come back as we go now to the top of inning number 7. Right here, it's 4-3 San Antonio. Well, top of the 7th, here's Tirso Ornales. He grounded out in the 5th, 0 for 3. As we get ready for inning number 7 for the Missions. Now, I will say the medications that my uncle took, it was too much for him. And he drug overdosed. And that's what killed him. I do apologize for your loss, John. I mean, I'm very sorry for your loss. I had an uncle that done the same thing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. He also lived in Midland. I mean, he was from Midland, just like you were. And so far, it was pretty rough and stuff.
Well, that's going to be up to right fielder. That's going to get through for a base hit.
And he's got it. And second baseman there.
The bat, the first baseman, Juan Fernandez.
And that's going to bring in Juan Fernandez. But we will have another pitch reliever coming in, Zach Lytle. 5.08 the ERA. 39 and 13 for strikeout and walks. 298 over 220. And so far, pretty good right there. So, Bob, you had an uncle from Midland just like I did? Yeah. And, well, he liked the Rockhounds, too.
Oh, did he?
So, what was his name? Well, my uncle's name was Jack. Jack. Oh, that's a nice name. Yeah. My Uncle Jack, he died years ago. He died in 1996 because of a drug overdose. And so far it was pretty bad. I went to the funeral when I was just a kid, and then boy, I cried my eyes out. Hey, you know what, Bob? Losses are hard, but we all know that our loved ones are never hurting anymore. That's right. So right there, whip it to first, and he's got it for out number 1. Meanwhile, the runner from second will move off to third, and San Antonio has a 5th potential run in the wings of 90 feet. Third baseman Lucas Dunn will come inside as he takes a ball. Count now 1-0. Boy, it's a beautiful night here in Frisco, and it's always a good time to come out what is left of this ball game. And a last meetup of the year between the two ball clubs. That one is fouled in the way. The count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's a pitch. And that one high fly in the air. And that is going to get down for an RBI. In to score from third. And it's now a 2-run San Antonio lead over Frisco. Well, the RoughRiders, they were 3-1, but San Antonio comes back, and a 5-3, pretty cool deficit right there. Yeah. So the designated hitter, Grant Little, coming in as he takes one right there and in. For a code strike, it's 0-1. Top of inning number 7 for the Missions. Boy, 3 runs in the top of inning number 6 for San Antonio comes in. A run already in this half inning scored in for the Missions. Swing and a miss. That's the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes to DH Grant Little. That one fouled in the way. The count now is 1-2. Boy, beautiful night here in Frisco, Texas, and gotta say the Clouds are moved out of the area. And that's going to be high fly in the air, and that will go out of play and foul. And that'll be 1 and 2. Here's the 1-2. And that one high and outside for 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Well, hope everybody is having a fun night. And you having a fun night?
Yes.
Bob? Yeah. Doggies? And right there, line drive, and that's another base hit. Well, your doggies are already asleep? Yeah, they usually go to sleep. That one is right there and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 7 batter Jackson Merrill, single run, and is 1 for 3 of the night. Well, bottom of the 8th inning there at Water Ridge Field, Amarillo. And boy, the Sod Poodles, they are trailing a bunch. They're down to their final 6 outs for the Sod Poodles. Here's the 2-0. That's going to be high fly in the air. And that will not be enough for a tag up, as that will be caught to left field.
Now batting, the left fielder, Albert Fabian.
And that'll bring up the 8-hole cleanup left fielder, Albert Fabian. 2 for 2, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Trying to make it a 3 for 3. And the pitch. That one right there and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 8:44 p.m. on this Sunday night. And that's going to be high fly in the air. And up the left field, as that will do. Well, Lucas Dunn will get in a couple of runs, as we have 1 run on a couple of base hits, no errors, and 2 left. Bottom of 7, San Antonio leads the ball game 5-3. Sandro Fabian will lead it off here in the home half of 7. When we come back, it's Texas League Baseball up in North Texas. Well, we're back here on this Sunday night. Sandro Fabian will lead it off, bottom of 7. Here's the pitch. And right there, swing and a miss, and that's the count now, 0-1. Boy, Amarillo making a little push there at Water Ridge Field, as they are about 4 runs catching up to Wichita. Boy, they were down 11-3 in the early innings, but now coming back and getting things going. They're trying to preserve that W there in Amarillo. That's the reason why. Yeah, you know, Bob, it's good that we know that. I mean, we know that they're trying to get up there and win the last game against the Wind Surge. But it's pretty good. And right there, Ty Krause will get them outfooled. And that's a swinging attempt right there for a cold strike. And he'll get them down easily. Thomas Ajayci, the number 7 batter, second baseman, coming in and ready to go. The pitch. That one outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So far, our room reservations good tonight. Bob and Ann will have their motel room just like I will. And so far, Jeff Andrews will have his own room. All 4 of us travel back to San Antonio early in the morning. And that's going to get down for a base hit. And that's going to be right there, as that will be a 1-out double. Boy, and I got to say, Amarillo, yeah, they do make a little push, but they will reflect on one of the innings. As so as Wichita being up 11-6 against Amarillo. And pretty good. Right there and in for a cold strike. It's 0-1 to Caber Rodriguez. Strikeout, pop out 0 for 2. You gotta say pretty good. Here's the pitch. And that one high fly in the air. Fernandez will make the running grab out in foul territory, as that is a great pickoff move by the first baseman for out number 2. Well, Matt Watley coming in, 0 for 2, will fly out in a pop out. 5-3 San Antonio, the tying run is Watley. Taken well and inside for a cold strike, it's 0-1. Amarillo and Wichita down to their final inning there at Water Ridge Field. And so far we're down to at least 2. And right there, as he recovers, not in time, as that right there will be knocked down on a scores decision of an infield base hit. And gotta say, the fielder's choice on top of that comes to no avail. And that'll bring up Luis Angel Acuna, as he's 1 for 3. He singled and run 1 for 3 of the night. And pretty good right there in this ball game. The pitch. And that one down and in for a ball, and the count now 1-1. Well, you gotta say, Wichita gets a run back, so they're cheaper in the dozen. And now they lead 6 against Amarillo there at Water Ridge. The score now is 12-6. And that is for the final out. And a great way to get out of trouble, as that will end 7 complete. Well, San Antonio up 5-3. As we start the top of the 8th inning, Cantu, 9-1-2, lead off the top of the 8th. Coming up, Nick Snyder, ERA of 1,800, averaging a 0.000 over a 500. That'll bring up Michael Cantu, as that's going to be outside for ball 1, 1-0. Sunday night attendance, 7,500. Pretty good for a Sunday night crowd. And yes, your chances of coming to this ball game are very slim. Getting off of work or probably getting out from a movie or something. Well, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was pretty good. And so far, Tom Cruise and his new movie is out. And that is in for a code strike, and the count now 2-2. The 2-2. And that's hit to second. Right there, he'll flip. And that's an easy out at first. Well, center fielder Tim Lopes is 2 for 4. Boy, 2 singles and RBI. Pretty good on that. That one right there and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. We'll take a look at Arkansas and Springfield. And those are the only 2 in the Texas League that we did not take a look at their scores. And a 1-1. Swing and a miss, and Boyd jumping out of his shoes for strike 2. One and 2. High fly in the air. And that will not be in time. And that still holds the count 1-2. And that's going to be over the second baseman's head for a base hit. Boy, pretty good right there. And that's going to bring in Evan Mendoza. Mendoza coming in, and he's ready to go. The pitch. That one high and outside on the 12-inch curve. And that's the count now, 1-0. Boy, we had a pretty good road trip here for the week here in Frisco. Pretty good as all buildings of the remnants of downtown lighted up real nicely. Yeah, I will say I bet San Antonio getting our 3rd stadium. I mean, if in a few years we get a stadium up in somewhere in the downtown area, it's going to be lighted up nicely. Everybody in Texas League Baseball knows that San Antonio has got a stadium that all of us still care about. I mean, why get rid of it now? That's going to be right there, line drive to center, and that gets through for another base hit. So another base hit goes to another base hit. And that'll bring in right fielder Tirso Ornelas. Ornelas is a 1 for 4 of the night. And that's a swing and a miss, and that would have been a whack-a-ball right there. Double and a run for Ornelas here tonight. And the 0-1. And that's going to be right there. The second for 1. They relay it, and they get him easily. So, no runs on a couple of base hits. No errors, 2 left. To the bottom of the 8th we go. And it's still a San Antonio 5-3 over Frisco. J.P. Martinez is 1 for 3, single in this ball game. Already 71 pitches by Matt Waldron. as he comes and takes in a cold strike. It's 0-1. Confidence level is high for tonight's starter. And boy, I think he's thinking that he's going to go through a whole ball game. But evidently tonight could be a obsolete of even doing that. Now right there, the first Juan Fernandez receives the ball by Lucas Dunn, and that's caught for out number 1. Trevor Halver single on the run. Coming in for Frisco. And the pitch. Right there up top in the corner. And that's the count now, 0-1. The 0-1. And that's high fly in the air. Center fielder Lopes makes the play. And that's a quick out, number 2. Well, San Antonio and Frisco, Amarillo and Wichita are pretty much all of us together are going what is left of this Sunday night. And that's going to be right there, line drive, and that's going to get in for a base hit. Now tying run coming up, and that would be the 5th batter, Kellen Strom. Strom coming in as that was right there at the inside corner. And that's the count now, 0-1. Two-away runner at first. The tying run, that is Kellen Strom. Coming in. The pitch right there and in for a cold strike. It's 0-2. Bottom of 9 there at Amarillo. 12-6 is Wichita leading the Sod Poodles. And boy, I gotta say, the ball game there comes to an end as Wichita claims the 6th game on a double play. And right there, swing and a miss, and that will do. So no runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left on. And to the top of the 9th we go. It is San Antonio 5, Frisco 3.
Your attention, please.
Well, Nick Starr will close things off. A 6'3" height and 225 pounds and age 26. So we'll get the ball for the Rough Riders here tonight. And the first baseman, Juan Fernandez, will stride up. 4, 5, and 6 due up top of 9 for San Antonio. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's the count now, 0-2. Oh, 1-2. And that's going to be right there. He'll knock it down. And there won't be a play as that ball will go down a fielder's choice. Well, Lucas Dunn coming in as he's 2 for 4 of the night. And that's going to be high fly in the air. Center fielder, shy of the warning track up in center, will make the running grab, and he's got it for out number 1. Designated hitter Grant Little, 2 for 3, double, single, 2 runs. Good ball game for the DH tonight for San Antonio. The pitch. That one right there in the inside corner. And that's the count now, 0-1. Well, lefty Lucas Jacobson coming up in the Rough Riders dugout to warm up. And I think he'll be the next reliever to lead off the bottom of the 9th for the Rough Riders. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that right there, he'll flip it. And they'll get the force out at second, but the runner at first will be safe. Jackson Merrill coming in, as he's the last out here in the top of the 9th for the Missions. And that's high fly in the air. Right fielder in foul grounds makes the play, and that's the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. To the bottom of the 9th we go, and it is a 5-3 San Antonio lead over Frisco.
Leading up for Frisco, the right fielder, Sandro.
Right fielder Sandro Fabian, 2 singles and 2 RBIs, is 2 for 3 of the 9th. 6, 7, and 8 due up bottom of the last inning for the RoughRiders. That one inside for a code strike. It's 0-1. Here's the pitch. And inside for a code strike, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Well, everybody having a good time, and yes, it is a great time to come out and enjoy the last of this ball game. And pretty good right there. Strike 3 as Fabian goes down. And 5th strikeout tonight for San Antonio starter Matt Waldron. Waldron is he's pretty good, I will say. But tonight he's going to get a win for his bullpen. That's a promise. Thomas Ajaysi coming in as he swings and misses, and that's the count now, 0-1. We got to say a pretty good night for all of Texas League Baseball. We wrap up another week. Frisco on the road to Wichita after tonight. And San Antonio goes home to take on Corpus Christi. Well, that is the call. The manager's coming out. And that's going to bring in Moises Lugo to come in and get the closing door assignment for San Antonio. The Waldron, he's got it made. He's a fastball thrower. And so far he went 9 2/3 innings for San Antonio, and that is one thing why prospects like him may get a call up to AAA or even a advanced forward call to the majors. Here's the 0-2. And that's high fly right there and out of play. And the count now is 0-2. Moises Lugo coming in as he's the reliever. And he's got him. And right there as he comes out.
Now batting, third baseman,
And that will bring up the last batter of this homestand. 8-hole cleanup hitter, Caber Rodriguez. And that's going to be high fly in the air. Ornelas makes the grab, and that is it. San Antonio winning their 53rd against the Frisco RoughRiders, as they'll be 40-48, still in 5th place. Boy, 4 and 5 were Frisco's, but now San Antonio claiming the last game of this series. So pretty good ball game there. And gotta say, it was a pretty good one. Pretty good. Well, we'll say we'll give you scores from Amarillo. Waldron gets the win, and the loss goes to Cody Bradford, and the save goes to Moises Lugo.
5 runs, 15 hits, no errors. They left 12 men on base. For the RoughRiders, 3 runs on 9 hits, no errors. They left 5 men on base. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 9 minutes. Thank you for joining us here tonight. And we remind you to please drive home safely.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and give you final scores. Springfield beats Arkansas 8-7. Springfield now 44-46. Arkansas 57-32. Though for Tulsa, they'll be 48-42. Northwest Arkansas 40-49. As the Naturals claim the 6th and final game there at Riverboat Field against Tulsa. Pretty good right there in that one. Corpus Christi wins against Midland 9-4. So 45 even in win and losses against Corpus Christi. Midland 42-48 against the Rockhounds. So far pretty good. 12-6 the final as Wichita will claim their 37th. And Amarillo will get their 42nd loss against the Wichita Wind Surge. Well, we've got to see where everybody is at since we are fulfilled in all of our weekly chores here. And so far it is pretty good. See, Corpus Christi at San Antonio. Amarillo at Midland. Frisco at Wichita. Springfield at Tulsa. Northwest Arkansas at Arkansas. They're pretty good right there, as that will do it for this week. Well, Bob and I, Ann and Jeff Andrews are headed home. And so far for all of us, we'll see you at San Antonio on Tuesday night as we take on the visiting Corpus Christi Hooks. For the RoughRiders, the Riders will head to Wichita. And so far, best of luck to Frisco for the rest of the year. Well, for all of us, we hope y'all have a great and awesome day tomorrow. We are off. And so far, hope y'all have a good night. For all of us, final score, San Antonio 5, Frisco 3 in Game 6. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you soon.